So, since my bedtime trio video did poorly on all of you, let me cover the murder time trio to see if that gets your attention. But I will warn you though, I have no idea if any of these information I'm about to spit I even considered canon, since there exist many, and I mean many takes for the murder time trio, so I just yap about one take I found on the wiki page and hope that I could entertain you with that. So let's begin by answering the question of who exactly the murder time trio is. The murder time trio is based upon the bad time trio, but the members being different AU Sanses that are considered to be bad and or evil. These members are usually Horror Sans, DustTale Sans, and Something New Sans, aka Killer Sans, while their substitute member being Insanity Sans. This murderous trio, or quartet, since they have a substitute member, was formed by the notorious Nightmare Sans, who sent each of his members into different universes to either recruit certain people, or if they refuse, kill every single one in their respected universe. One of the first recruits were Killer Sans and Horror Sans, who also tried to recruit DustTale Sans. It has to be noted that DustTale Sans was against the idea of joining them, but after Nightmare Sans beat his ass, he had no other choice but to joining them. And then there's of course Insanity Sans, and as we all know, Insanity Sans would most likely have jumped them before hearing that he had a chance of killing even more people, and was full on this idea, and joined afterwards the Murder Time trio. Most of these information are based around the Villain Sans Squad lore, so I am unsure if this is canon, how the Murder Time trio was formed, since other takes and interpretation of this part of the fandom told different stories. For example, DustTale Sans reluctantly agreed to joining the Murder Time trio after pə-PY-rəs told him to do so, while the original creator of DustTale Sans stated that it would be against his character's personality and morals to even think about joining the Murder Time trio. He would have most likely helped Core Frisk instead of Nightmare Sans, and would have helped his universe to get to the Omega timeline, and would help other universes to get rid of their Frisk or Chara, and would help the survivors to the Omega timeline. And if they would have joined this murderous trio, either through being pressured to join this trio or being forced to join this trio, Dust Sans would hate with a passion Killer Sans, since Killer Sans did kill every single one of his family members and friends in the underground, not for a way to free them all from this endless suffering and endless loop of getting killed over and over again, but instead did it for fun, to experience something new. The only member he would have been chill with would be Horror Sans, since both of them live in shitty situations. Speaking of Horror Sans, it was once stated, I don't know who stated it, that Horror Sans only joined the Murder Time trio since Nightmare Sans promised him that when he joined the Murder Time trio that he would send food to his underground. And Killer Sans, well, he loves to experience something new. As you can see, there exist many interpretations of the Murder Time trio, and so I'm unsure which one of them is canon. Maybe all of them are canon, since there exist multiple universes. But what is known is that Nightmare Sans is the leader of the Murder Time trio, and commands them to go on to different universes to bring his judgment as his personal enforcers. Which is why I'm even more confused when I see the different phases in the Murder Time trio's story, which are resolved when the Murder Time trio is facing once again a Chara or a Frisk and fights them 3 or 4 to 1 once again in a judgment hall and get absolutely cooked. Is it because the creators of these different fan games and UST creator wanted to emulate the Bad Time Trio so much that they copied their whole flow once again, bar for bar, that they thought, oh okay, they are a trio, just like the Bad Time Trio, so they need to fight a Frisco Chara. Nothing else must change. Well, anyways, let's read the story for these different phases, and once again, I am unsure if these are canon, so please take it with a bit of salt, okay? Okay, let's begin with the prologue. At the end of the genocide world, Chara recalls the end of the world and hears a mysterious figure who calls himself W.D. Gaster. Through this encounter, Chara learns of the existence of alternate universes surrounding this world. The mysterious figure assumed to be Gaster grants Chara the ability to transfer between alternative universes, as well as the power to delete any entity that impends Chara. In exchange, Chara is tasked with destroying half of the overgrown AUs and gathers data on the strongest being in each destroyed universe. However, Chara has no intention of following the missions obediently. Using the granted abilities, Chara begins by destroying AUs where massacring the resident is easier, planning to eventually locate and kill the one calling himself Gaster to gain even greater power and ultimately destroy all AUs. Several AUs resident, including Nightmare Sans, become aware of the force wreaking havoc across AUs, but Chara's presence and traces are cunningly configured by the mysterious figure, making it impossible for anyone to stop their destruction. Gradually grown stronger, Chara succeeds in destroying half of all AUs. The mysterious figure contacts Chara again, instructing them to transcend the gathered data via a device. Yet at the very moment Chara sends data, they find themselves standing in the last corridor. Before Chara stand three versions of Sans: Murder Sans, Killer Sans, and Horror Sans, all resident of previous destroyed AUs. Using the collected data, Gaster has rescued the three most menacing and malicious Sans in Chara's path to test Chara's competence. It has to be noted that Gaster's ultimate goal is to restore his own data, which is why he collected so many datas. In the recreated last corridor, Chara's abilities are essentially sealed, preventing them from using reset or delete power. This limitation also appears to Murder and Killer, meaning that Chara, who has already destroyed different alternative universes, is nerfed so much that they can't just erase them all. It is to be noted that also the Murder Time Trio are also extremely nerfed, since Murder and Killer can't reset, save or lord anymore, so they have no choice but to fight against each other with restricted abilities. And so the first phase begins. The Murder Times Trio launches an unrelenting attack, giving Chara no opportunity to counterattack, pushing them to the brink of death. Chara, unyielding determination, briefly overrides the sealed power, allowing a momentary use of their delete ability. Seizing this moment, Chara managed to delete Horror Sans, erasing him. However, using the delete ability in a realm where power should be inaccessible and erasing an already deleted entity twice, the fabric of the world triggered a reset. Chara's health is therefore fully restored and the Murder Time Trio is back, all three of them. However, in place of Horror, Insanity Sans stands ready. And so begins phase 2 and 2.5. With Insanity Sans fighting in Horror stat, Chara has now seen Murder and Killer Sans attack once before. Taking advantage of this, Chara strikes all three Sanses at once with their knife. At level 1980 and HP 99, Chara's attacks are lethal, reducing all three to dust in an instant. Gaster, observing this, intends yet another experiment. This time he tests a chaotic element resembling Determinação called Chaos. Chaos, imported from another universe, is an elemental that amplifies the strongest concussion with the soul. When injected into a monster with multiple strongest consciousness, Chaos merges their consciousness, creating a fusion. Gaster injects the dying trio with Chaos and calls out to their depths of their soul. In short, Gaster pulled a Vegeta or a Gogeta and fused the three dying Murder Time Trio members and created a new entity. By the way, I love Gogeta. He is such a cool fusion. I know I'm about to dick ride this guy or glaze him, but what I find interesting about his character is simply his carefree attitude, since he knows he only exists for 30 minutes and he wants to live these 30 minutes in his fullest, while also trying his best to make his opponent appreciate life by eradicating every single single evil in his heart by using his soul punisher by erasing all their evil in their heart. Which is why Gogeta was so happy that Broly was unaffected by this attack, since this means that Broly is a pure-hearted being. He was also pretty happy after eradicating Janemba and realizing that it was a boy who got possessed by all the embodiment of evil, making him smile after realizing that he was able to save another person's life while he had only minutes left before returning into nothingness. But he was okay with that because he saved another life and made them appreciate life even more. But let's return to Undertale, or in this case the Murder Time Trio. Since the Murder Time Trio was affected by the chaos, the world itself was also affected by this chaos, which shouldn't exist in this dimension. The world twisted once again, triggering another reset. Chara's self is restored once again, but instead of 3 individual Sans, a fusion stands before them. Satsujin Sans Fusion, a being that exists solely to kill. And so begins phase 3. In a brutal showdown with Satsujin Sans Fusion, Chara finally delivers a fatal blow to its increasingly formless body. Striking this body, imbued with elements forging to the realm, causes the entire space to collapse. As a result, a new space emerged, with Chara standing victorious. This space is infinitely wide, stretching endlessly, yet even here distortion appears. These distortions eventually swirl into a vortex, from which murder, killer and horror appeared. All 3 lack color and consciousness. The only thing that kind of reminds them of who they were their intense murderous intention. They attack alongside the distortion of space and time. In the end, finally, this distorted in time and space stabilized, and Chara finds themselves back to face with Gogeta. Having survived being made solely of murderous intent and distortion in time and space, Chara can no longer be left alive. Regretting his own experiment, Gogeta decided to attempt to kill Chara himself. If he succeed, I don't know, probably not, because Chara was literally able to survive a being made solely of murderous intent and distortion in time and space. But whatever, Gogeta will be Gogeta. So in conclusion, I don't know if these are all the canon information about the Murder Time Trio, or if this was even canon to the Murder Time Trio lore, but I hope that you enjoyed this video nonetheless. And if you want more content like this, please check out the Bad Time Trio lore video. It is quite good, but has not many views, so please check it out. Goodbye for now.